Good afternoon, friends. It's Ori time. We're going to be looking at a match from the field division here. ICED versus Evooki. Both players fighting for their tournament lives here in the lower brackets, so we'll see how this one goes. On commentary today, I'm Sigma, and joining me, it's Poogle. How's it going?
I'm doing alright, Sigma. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. This is some, early afternoon Ori, at least if you're on the West Coast. But, here we are. We're ready to go, and you can see this bracket coming up here now. These guys have a pretty long way to go to progress in this tournament, but, one of them will make it on from this match to play against Snoop, and the other one will have to pack their bags, unfortunately, but that's how it goes.
Well, some days you're in and some days you're out.
Yep. So, we actually kind of have a funny stat graph here. Evooki's late game, by the stats, being non-existent. And the reason for this is not because Evooki is just really bad at the late game or anything like that. Not at all. Evooki, I think, is actually pretty strong there, but, because of his computer and Xbox kind of hassle having to switch around between things, because his computer was running the game slow and then, running into soft locks and stuff, he just had, the worst luck in the late game, having to load saves, way back and stuff like that. So, if Evooki fights through his technical issues, then he can really put on a good show here. And I wouldn't think that ICE has much of an advantage at all in that case. It's just kind of, his stats are based on tournament races. All the previous tournament races, he's kind of been cursed with basically everything going wrong.
Oof. Now, it's going to be a little interesting considering that ICE actually was playing on Xbox until about sub 45. Meanwhile, Evooki is now playing on Xbox.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really interesting to see, especially because Evooki can't see his HP.
Yeah, you can't toggle the UI off, and the interface on Xbox leaves a little bit to be desired. So he's fighting through the problems and doing his best to give us a good run, but it's tough when you have to deal with all of this other stuff in the way of the game. But you just got to try your best.
It's a lot of mental math that you got to be doing all at once, and that takes a lot of doing. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool even actually feels comfortable giving that a go.
Yep. So I'm hoping that we'll see Evooki blow his best race time out of the water here, because he's certainly capable of that. You see his PB is a low 40, and well, that's his submitted PB even, and as you can see from quite some time ago, he has some unrecorded ones that are, a bit better than that since then, I know of that. But his best race time, sitting at a 55, because of all these aforementioned issues, has not really been able to put on a great show for his skill in the tournament just yet. And I think he could easily just bust out something in the low 40 range and give ICE the run for his money here.
That would make that a really good race, and I can't wait to see something like that being pulled out.
Yep, so we're just get a little bit to chill as we're getting things synced up here. Another side effect of the Xbox streaming is that it's a bit more of a pain to get things set up, but we'll have things sorted pretty soon and get things underway as soon as we can. But until then, we get to enjoy these moving backgrounds as Ori runs back and forth between these crushers time and again. I don't know if we're just on a shorter loop, or if we watch Ori go through enough times, if he's actually going to get crushed.
I don't know. I've gotten almost not one frame per se by these a couple times, but it's always very funny when you accidentally drop down. Oh no, I'm dead.
Yeah. Hopefully we never see somebody drop down for this screen. This is below where you actually go in the all skills run, but it can happen. Yeah, Hopping up, hopping down, hopping around. So, how is everybody out there doing today? Excited for this Ori action? Because I certainly am.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. It's always fun watching these races when, you don't necessarily know the outcome. Like, we could say that ICED does probably have an advantage going into this one, but who knows? Anything can happen.
That it can.
So I guess we can talk about some other matches as well. We do have another Ori match today, which is, I think, about 2 hours from now. There's a bit of a break after this one, and then that one's coming up. Let me actually look up who's playing in that one.
That one is going to be... Where is it?
Oh, that's Pixel versus Skyfall. That one's going to be pretty good too. I think the predictions were a bit split on that. Another lower bracket matchup, but those are honestly a lot of fun too, because when both runners are less consistent, then some crazy stuff can happen.
Then anything's possible.
Yeah, that's for sure. Generally, when you've having races between people who've been playing the game for years and practiced a whole bunch, like, they don't make huge mistakes as often, but when somebody's 2 minutes ahead, it's not a guaranteed win all the time.
One bad death and everything goes down the drain. It looks like we are getting started right now.
Nice. So we managed to fight through the technical issues, and our runners are off, both hitting that prologue skip, and we'll be getting into game right away and heading over to hop through glades.
One of the most infuriating hops you will probably ever have.
Yeah. So we see ICED using the color code, getting a really nice kind of aqua there. Those light colors are the best to get out of that. When you put that code in, you just get a random, RGB. So you get dark purple and be completely unable to see yourself. That's just the worst. Evooki not opting to do the code. I actually don't know if the color code works on Xbox or not.
I don't either.
It's a mystery. But one actual difference that does matter, because the color code doesn't really affect anything, we'll see off the top here, is because of playing on the Xbox, Evooki is forced to play with the UI on, which means he has to mash through dialogue, which doesn't lose very much time. But the reason that everybody plays with their UI off on PC is because it instantly skips all text boxes. So you may see ICED toggle his on and off, but we're just going to see Evooki's UI on the entire time. So we'll at least be able to keep track of his health and experience and all that pretty clearly.
Despite having to mash through text, it doesn't look like Evooki lost too much time on the Frankie fight.
Yeah, his fight was a little bit better than ICED's. I think ICED missed a shot on the second Frankie and had to kind of double back for a little bit. Oh, Evooki got an animation stack there on the jump pad, which is some good RNG, but I do think it was on an energy shard rather than a health shard, so it's not ideal, but nothing you can do to control that. You just kind of hope that it works out every time. Fortunately, this game isn't optimized down to the point where that half second of actually getting a stack matters, but it'll be scary to run when it ever gets to there.
I can't imagine what the times will be like when that starts becoming an actual issue.
Yeah, that'll be the 27-minute runs and stuff like that.
Oh, jeez.
Both our runners picking up the ghost door here. ICED just a little bit of a lead, but really not much in the early game here. These kind of small early game leads can change back and forth extremely easily. 27.
What's the TAS at for this again?
The TAS is 26 flat, and it doesn't use about 40 seconds of time save that have been found from routing changes. But it's really hard to play to perfection. It's Oh man, Ice took a lot of damage going down the elbow there. I believe he's down to 1 health now, so Evooki manages to pull ahead there. He's probably going to lose this lead immediately because he has to... Oh, they're both mashing text. Ice turned his UI on to check his health. So we got some sync there on the text of the map stone.
Oh,
but Ice is going to have to be really careful here at 1 HP.
Hopefully he'll get a health drop from the brambles. That would be nice.
He did
it
not.
doesn't. Oh, this is scary.
Yeah, it's not too pleasant. Doesn't have enough experience quite to level, but gets the health, guaranteed health from that flower, so he'll be able to damage boost down towards wall jump. Evooki was able to save some time in those sections by using damage boost instead, and he'll have a lead at wall jump here for a bit, but actually both runners set up with pretty much the same experience, so we'll see the level ups for both of them heading out of wall jump here, just to clear their path open, and that's kind of nice. I like the level up on the way out because you get more experience, and that can make Blackroot easier to manage. It can also make it harder to manage depending on how you approach it, but it is what it is.
Well, Blackroot's just an impossible death trap anyway, so...
That's true. So there's both of our runners getting their levels now. Oh, Ice actually took a dip into the spikes there. Those only do 1 damage, but it's... You don't really get much health refill. And oh, Evooki having a little bit of trouble with the hanging rock here. And will also take 1 damage, so Ice back in the lead just slightly, and both players down 1 health. They'll probably... Okay, Ice is going to opt to not damage boost out the elbow here, and Evooki will, because he still has the health for it, and that's a good decision. It's a bit faster to do damage boost. As long as he's careful, he still has a bit of leeway.
Ice looks like he took a damage from that regardless, though, so I'm curious as to what the health is at right now.
I think it's 2. If my count's correct. He's opting not to take that 1 health flower there. And also opted not to save. Whereas Evooki did take the health flower, so Ice got to be a little careful coming into the Blackroot here. Oftentimes you want to run past this wall into the teleporter area as fast as you can, because, you know, kill the thing and immediately run past it, but you got to be a little careful, because if you don't quite kill it and run into it, you could die and go back a long ways.
Yeah... Those things do 2 health worth of damage, and if you end up accidentally targeting the wrong bramble and it's the top one, not the bottom one, that hurts.
Yeah,
it's jumps are not fun.
Pretty painful. So both players keeping their previous health scores going into Blackroot. Ice taking a hit from the spikes there, which is still faster than going to the left wall, but will put him down to 1 health. This should be okay though, because the spikes in the bottom of this room do 3 damage anyways, so he'd be dead regardless. Places a safety save there, and we'll be getting a level up shortly off of this 100 experience orb just up above, so that'll put him back to full health, and Evooki going for it as well. I think both players having a little bit of trouble getting up here. Oh, Iced's orb actually fell. Oh my gosh, what is happening? He killed the spider. Now he's trying to get the orb to magnet up to him. So, Evooki manages to pull back ahead with that. And I'm curious about Iced's experience now that he killed that spider. He might need to kill some slimes, or rather skip some slimes that he would normally kill coming up in this section.
Did Ice take magnet going into Blackroot?
I did not actually catch that. It could have been a rekindle grab. Well, no, I think he does have magnet because that spider experience all came towards him. So.
Oh yeah.
And he skipped the slime with the lanterns. We might see a UI turn on quickly just to check if he can kill this last slime or not. But usually, people will know how to dodge it if they are low. And
does
yeah,
look like
he's
gonna
gonna do the dodge.
You know, Evooki looks like he set up his HP, his experience very nicely.
Yeah, that's really good. The closer you are to level, the faster you level up at the next trick. You spend less time waiting for your experience to tick up. You do just have to wait for that level to process before you can open the door, so saving those frames by being really close to level. And Evooki will be pulling the lever and then getting to the darkest cutscene momentarily. Iced as well. Is following suit. And looks like both runners on, well, it's going to be close for Iced, I think. But Evooki will be setting a tournament best for his dash time here.
Both runners opting to skip the darkness cutscene with the save anywhere, not going for the newer method.
Now, another tragic thing that we've seen, I think, twice now on the 2 reloads Evooki did is Xbox loads are really slow from the menu compared to PC. So that's another reason that people don't run on it, if they can help it for the most part, is you kind of just have to wait a little bit longer on each reload. So you may see Evooki not do some cutscene skips because saving and entering the menu and returning to the game is slower on Xbox than it would be on PC, where the cutscene length is a bit less than that, but we'll see as we get to it. Might just do some of them out of habit anyways. So both players on the Frankie walk now. Evooki's still holding that slight lead, and hopefully this goes well for both players. This trick's really costly if you take any kind of issues with it, take any deaths because you can't save for a really long time here.
It's one of the main reasons why having the 4 HP in the early game is so nice.
Yeah, that definitely helps with the safety of it. So both players getting their Frankie over here, okay. They just gotta kill him, put the energy in the door, and then get through the death gauntlet, which is a little bit of a scary area, but I think these guys will be able to manage it okay. Evooki's taking out that slime, gets a health drop, and gets it for water. Iced over on the left, he is through as well, so both players should be pretty safe going up to this energy cell now. Not much more that can kill them. It's possible, of course, to still die, but Evooki gets the cell, and is holding a save there, so we'll have that safety save down. Iced as well.
Oh,
Takes damage, but he had health, so it's okay.
And is choosing to take the safety save immediately afterwards, so that's nice.
Yeah, so okay, we might see early Grotto Cycle from Evooki, and an early Grotto Cycle on Xbox is a little different, because it loads really slow. You can just jump in. Yeah. So that's how it goes. It gets early Grotto Cycle. It's 8 seconds saved kind of for free, but I mean it's not, it's like, you know, definitely you lose more time than that in loads elsewhere.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah. I love that, it's so funny.
And looks like Evooki is choosing to do the save and reload for the blind movement, which may or may not have just lost all of the 8 seconds that he got from Grotto Cycle, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, the cumulative loads are definitely more painful than getting the Grotto skip for free, but I really enjoy that. Every time I see it, it's so goofy. You just run up and the crusher's like, oh, I'm supposed to move. Here we go. Alright. So Evooki's coming up to Grotto skip now. And this is just a precise jump. You can see he's got about a 43% success rate with it, so we'll see if he can nail it here. Really nice, first try, so that's going to be good for him. Ice coming up on the same trick. It's not the easiest movement, and his success rate is not as good with it, so we'll have to see how this goes for him. Wow, easy. Nails it.
Both runners just make it look easy.
Yeah, and I gotta say, these guys are playing really well here. You know, just, you know, nothing really major has gone wrong for either of them, and I really like to see that, because a lot of Evooki's past races, him in particular, were kind of plagued by like all these technical issues and like game running slow and all this stuff, but it's going smoothly here, so I hope that this keeps up. Okay, this is one of those cutscene skips on Xbox that doesn't really save time, but it's kind of break even, just because of that long load there. And so Evooki's still ahead, but Ice is catching up with the power of, you know, a better processor. No. Solid state drive, perhaps, I don't know.
Well, both runners making very quick work of this vertical movement-oriented part of the run. Really deceptively difficult movement getting from here to the Ginso tree. There's a lot of double jumping and a lot of just properly timing getting up those walls.
Yeah, Evooki is doing really good with this. Like, haven't seen any, dropped double jumps like falling down. That death doesn't really matter. It's just a safety save. He's in fact gonna intentionally die on that next one. He says, "I don't want to deal with this slime at 1 health." So that does give Iced some time to catch up, though. Both runners are really close to each other. They're coming up to one more tricky jump up to this ability cell on top of this tree. Evooki's just gonna fly through it first try. Ice getting messed up by those flower pads for a little bit. Those can be kind of annoying from time to time, but he gets that jump up to the ability cell as well quite quickly. Now both runners will stop and grab the swamp teleporter here, just as a faster trip back to the end of the game later. And then we'll be on to the Inso tree.
Squeezing through there, it looked a little tight, but I thought one of them was gonna get stuck.
Yeah, Ori's been slimming down to fit into that crack there. The dash still helped a lot with that. Didn't work so well in the vanilla game. Alright, so unfortunately, Evooki has to reload the game here to skip this cutscene out. I think normally that this one would save time, but that load seemed exceptionally long to me, so it might not have.
I'm not sure. That did look pretty long.
Darn Xbox. We see Ice managed to put in another color code during, I believe, the Enter Genso cutscene. Gets a pink color, so that's pretty good. Doesn't blend in with the background of Genso too badly. And has the lead going into the second round of Genso, but I think, Evooki can definitely catch up here. He's been playing really well. And he can close this gap. It's pretty small between both runners right now. And Evooki's telehopping. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. That was so good. The hops, so good. I personally love that movement tech.
It's so cool. It was a big deal back in vanilla as well, because it saved significantly more time than it does in the current version of the game, Definitive Edition. And I mention this because Evooki has, I think, probably spent more time running vanilla than the Definitive Edition overall. He's been around since back then. He did runs, right at the very beginning of the game. So, back then we didn't have dash, so crossing that room a couple extra times without dash was a lot slower. You got, multiple cycles back on the gamers, so busting out those older strats, the telehops, saving the time in that room, and looking cool while you do it. It's always nice to see.
Both runners making very quick work of this mini-boss. Looks like it's been popping up in pretty good spots for both of them so far.
Yep, they've read the spawns fairly well. Actually, I've never played this on Xbox myself, so I don't know how well some of those one-frame issues like the one-frame mini-boss tell and stuff like that work, but Evooki, caught up. He was, I think, behind going to the boss, and then
he was.
He's ahead now, so clearly doing pretty well there, and we'll be heading on towards Bash soon with a bit of a lead.
Looked like he was keeping track of it somehow, so maybe the tells are there.
Oh no! Okay, well, he had a save, so that wasn't so bad, but ended up jumping back up through the portal, and those portals reset your iframes when you go through them, then ended up taking a death to the spikes. So I lied about that lead coming into Bash. Here's some stats, you can just read them, I don't know.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Alright, so... Oh, I think took some damage there in the room off the Frankie right off after Bash, so we'll have to be a little careful to move this section, but it's pretty much just going to mean he can't damage boost during the key dupe, which is not too big of a deal, and you want to get low during the key dupe anyways. You're not saving your health for anything after that, so it should be okay.
Yeah, it looks like he's just gonna go for the shooting those projectiles and getting the keys without taking a dip into the spikes.
Yep. Evooki also ended up taking some damage in this lower part on the redirect, ended up taking a hit. Ice is trying to get this key dupe set up now. You have to just barely edge these spikes, and he's got it, so he'll have those 3 keys back in his inventory. be able to collect them again. Evooki dies on the first damage boost after the save, but that's barely a time loss. It's not too bad. Oh, it gets caught in those spikes again. Sometimes those wall jumps just won't agree with you. You kind of get stuck sliding down and can't get up, but gets up there this time. Iced will be making the Ghost Door play into the second mini-boss. So a bit more of a lead for Iced here, but definitely still close. This can definitely turn around on Swamp Entry. Evooki gets that key dupe as well, so he'll be following Iced's footsteps very shortly.
Evooki does take a little bit less time setting up the key dupe, so while he did lose some time dying to the spikes on the side of the wall, he got a lot of that back.
Yep. Okay, there, got that keystone. Sometimes that jump just does not work very well. So Ace over on the left here is going to be heading into the Swamp Entry part of the game now. And this trick can be really quite difficult at times. We have to manipulate a frog to let us get into Thornfold Swamp without having finished the Ginso tree, which we were just at. I mean, we could have finished it pretty quickly, but it is faster because of all the cutscenes and whatnot associated with the Ginso core. Come this way, so this is what the runners are going to be doing. They're going to be trying to get good frog nips. Ice going for the blind movement past the laser section here. Took some damage on the spikes, but will be healed up by the safety save. Just has to get rid of this frog so that the save can go off. And now we'll be on to the trick here.
Gonna bash the frog through the little opening. Gonna jump. Oh, okay, does take the damage. Good thing he took the safety save, otherwise he would have died from taking the damage on those spikes.
Yeah. Now doing this manipulation to break the roof and gets in there. Nice, first try. Will hopefully, yeah. There's always that little fear that you might die to that rhino immediately after. I don't think we've seen it happen once in the tournament, but now that I've said that, I really hope it doesn't happen to Evooki. But I think it'll be fine. You just dash and bash together. It doesn't kill you. So Evooki juggling the frog up quite quickly into position as well, and gets the frog pushed to the platform. Oh, eats the shot, but that's okay. He's got the safety save right there, so it should be fine. The frog decides to run into the water, take a bath, but once again, the safety save's right there, so it's not a big time loss. But you don't want to have those add up too much. Failing this trick repeatedly can definitely end up being pretty costly.
Despite being aquatic creature, ooh.
Oh man.
Creatures.
Oh, that's brutal.
Did Evooki get caught in the animation lock?
Yeah. Okay. So because his UI's on, he couldn't like mash the text away fast enough, and then bash as well. Like normally, I think from PC practice or anything like that, you'd be used to first baiting the shot from the guy, then picking up the cell, and then the cell animation goes away by the time the shot gets to you. But with the text there to mash, it's a little bit more annoying. So ended up getting shot by the frog instead. Is trying to get this frog back into position as well. Iced is progressing through the game pretty nicely in the meantime. He's going for this Kuro cutscene skip and does not manage to get it, but will just opt to watch the cutscene, which is a good choice. You barely lose any time watching it versus reloading and trying again. And if you fail it the second time, then it's real bad.
Alright. Evooki not getting caught up by that again. Does not bash the shot into the frog. And is through.
Nice. So
save. Yes, and there's the save.
We'll save right away, so no chance for that rhino to do anything nasty. Ice grabbed a 5th health cell there on the way over through the spider area. This is a nice health cell to grab because it gives you an extra degree of safety in Zero Pass, where the spikes do a bunch of 4 damage hits, and you have 5 health, so that's nice and convenient. Unfortunately, those spikes do infinity damage. 5 health doesn't help you very much with that. And we'll take a death, but saved right after the 5th health cell, so we'll just be able to come over here and collect the energy again, as Evooki's grabbing Stomp now.
Now, Ice doing... Ew! Ends up not getting on the wall in time. Ice does an interesting way of getting into... over that 5th energy. Instead of taking the bash glide like most people, he actually bonks off the bottom of that ledge just enough to refresh the double jump, which I think is pretty swell.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to do it if you're, if you don't like that spider shot too much, or this bash off the spider, or, especially for controller, like, if you didn't play vanilla pretty much on controller, you probably haven't practiced bash gliding as much, since so much of the definitive edition movement is based on just dashing everywhere. You don't really need to bash glide constantly, so if you don't have the knack of it, then just do something like that. You don't need a bash glide to get over there. You just refresh your double jump. So Iced getting through the charge flame. Evooki going for this cell in swamp here. I think he took one death on it, and the frog's gonna run off and die, so he's gonna reload real quick. Or, well, reload as fast as his Xbox can and then give it another shot.
Yeah, Ice getting a bit trolled by the Frankie there. Didn't follow him all the way down.
Yeah, had to use a charge flame to break his way out, which means his energy will be a bit low. But this is fine if he decides to take a save on the valley teleporter. He can just use a bunch of energy in this section and then save on the valley teleporter once he's at Feather, and then he'll have plenty of energy for Sarah. I honestly like this decision a fair bit. If you have any troubles with this Feather segment at all, then it's a pretty good idea to make saves and then just save on the valley teleporter, because you lose not a huge amount of time, and you can definitely lose a huge amount of time to take deaths in this section. Evooki going for cutscene skip, doesn't manage to get it, and will also choose to watch it. Good choice versus potentially getting infinited there.
How many times does it pay to try and skip that cutscene before you start losing time?
So if you get it first try, we'll call that 0 seconds. If you fail it and watch it, it takes 17, and if you fail it and reload, it takes 13. So if you reload twice, then you're losing like more time than having just watched it. It only saves time if you get it second try.
Iced is not going to go for the fast stompless trick, and is going to do the much safer way of getting that cell.
Yep, not a bad decision. You could lose so much time if you go for fast stompless and you miss. It's much faster to just get the cell and then do it normally than to fail fast stompless once, so that's what he's opting for, and we'll be heading up. This also lets you place a safety save, potentially, before stomping the rocks, but he's not going to do that. I think his plan is to get to the valley teleporter anyways, which means he's going to have plenty of energy for this upcoming section.
Yeah, and having a lot of energy in going into Sorrow Bash is pretty important. Especially for those rocket jumps.
Yeah. And of course, people really like making safety saves in Sorrow. In PB attempts, maybe not so much, but in races, those safety saves have a lot of value.
Considering when all of those spikes will 1 or 2 shot you, depending on where your health's at. And
yep.
Even the birds are not very nice.
Yep, so Iced. We'll see if he opts to place a save or if he just goes straight into Sorrow Bash. Looks like he wants to save, and that's not a bad decision at all. He's got the energy for it, and if you don't get Sorrow Bash first try, this saves a ton of time. Oh, that bird looks pretty low to me, yep. But it's a quick reset there, so give a couple attempts at this now.
Looks good. And he's through.
Yep. Did drop an energy charge dashing that bird because the bash didn't quite go off, but I think he had 4 energy entering here, so should be at 3 now, and opts to float up rather than rocket jumping the lower bird, and then save, so kind of evens things out there, and we'll be able to manage his energy well for the rest of Sorrow, I think. Evooki is also going to just grab this cell rather than doing controller fast stompless on Xbox. Which I mean, on Xbox, who knows what would happen with it. You might like get a loading zone trying to go down and the wall wouldn't unload time or something.
Oh gosh. That just sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's a rough life.
Do you even think loading times would affect maybe unloading it?
They definitely could. I don't think you would get a load zone there, but you know, I haven't extensively tested out Xbox load areas, so All I know is that they're everywhere. And they're scary. So Ice's grabbed Charge Jump now. Doing pretty darn well. Better than he's done before in the tournament, so that's pretty awesome. Evooki's at Feather. And it's definitely a pretty big lead for Ice at this point, but like we were talking about before, these races can be pretty volatile. There's some really bad deaths that you can potentially take later on. And if Ice, gets infinited by Misty or something like that, that could give Evooki an opportunity to catch up. So on Ice screen, we're seeing the Terror Break. We're kind of not really seeing it. He's floating up behind the menu, up to the Sunstone. Evooki on the right, that's the screen to watch for now. He's going into his Sorrow Bash, and we'll see how this goes. You see the Sorrow Bash stat at 11%. Now that is not at all representative of Evooki's skill at it, as he nails it first try here, because a lot of those Sorrow Bashes were done on a lagging computer that was nearly impossible to play on. So he's through first try into Sorrow Pass and is cruising on through this area quite nicely.
Beautiful Sorrow Bash. He's gonna go for the extra energy, even though I don't think he needs it right now. He's at 4 or 5 right now. Not
I think
bad.
he was considering rocket jumping, perhaps, but ended up saying, okay, well, that slime's in a weird position. I don't want to rocket with spikes. Evooki did not take 5 health, so these spikes will one-shot him. So just playing that a little careful. Oh, speaking of getting one-shot by spikes, Ice takes death on the way down. But he had rekindled his save after grabbing the Sunstone for most things, so will not lose that much time to it, and will now be trying to get over into Misty Woods. Evooki's grabbing Charge Jump at the moment.
Nice save from the Trash Bash.
Yeah.
Those spikes down there, I believe, do 5.
They do. Those spikes have no mercy.
Speaking of no mercy.
That's some nice movement out of Charge Jump there from Evooki, though. That bash, or Charge Dash into bash on a dying land. Let's see. Ice heading through Misty now, getting his Charge Dash bashes, Charge Jumps, all that kind of nice stuff going here. This area is kind of fun because in the original, or the intended route for the game, I should say, you don't have Charge Jump or Dash when you're going to Misty as it was designed. So it's supposed to be like this kind of slow puzzle platformy area where you kind of solve these problems with flowers and stuff like that, but it just becomes a movement showcase in the speedrun because we have a bunch of abilities we're not supposed to, and we can skip all of the puzzle parts of it and just, move as fast as we can through the rooms.
Which makes it really fun. If a bit scary, but still pretty fun. Considering you have basically all of the movement tools at your disposal to just zoom through this area.
Yep. Ice making pretty short work of the first half of Misty. We'll be at the climb tree now. Evooki's grabbing the Sunstone. And... okay, good. I saw the frame freeze for a little bit and I was really hoping that it wasn't crashing or something, but no, everything's fine. We're progressing on through. Ice is still on excellent pace compared to his tournament best, and perhaps very slightly on PB pace as well, but it's definitely a lot closer on that one. He's going through all these Misty puzzles. You can see this room, he just jumped straight up to the keystone, no problem. Evooki getting through Sorrow now, and will be starting his Misty momentarily as well.
Ice is not gonna drop a safety save. I'm hoping he drops one either before or after the 4th keystone. And nice little bit of just bashing the slime down away into the spike so that he didn't get into the spike himself.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he drops one at the 4th keystone. I'm not sure if he's taking damage or not yet. Sometimes what people do is they will not save unless they take damage, because they say, well, I can take a hit from the spikes and you can just save if I take damage, and then just use the energy for charge dashes otherwise. And that looks like what Ice is doing, so he didn't save at that 4th keystone. Will save before the meatball shaft though, so if something goes awry here, it won't go all the way back to climb, so that's good.
Now, how do you think he's gonna take care of this mid-boss?
I think we're gonna see some explosions. But went for charge jump into bash. Actually, something really cool is if you charge jump and then bash the worm itself, sometimes you can get 2 frames of charge jump damage that hit consecutively. And it just does 100 damage and instantly kills the thing, but makes short work of them anyways, without using up any energy just by bashing their shots back into them and getting some of that charge jump action in there, so he kills that pretty quickly and is finished with Misty now. Normally you'd carry the orb over to the pedestal and get the Gumon seal and go to Forlorn Ruins, but we already did Sorrow Pass. That's the only thing that Forlorn Ruins even helps with getting to by releasing the wind. And it's not all wind released events, it's all skills, so we got the skills and we're good to go. Towards the end of the game after grabbing the last one, Grenade.
Yeah, we don't really do dungeons in this category. That's why there's no dungeons category.
Yeah. So Evooki is doing pretty well in Misty here as well. I haven't seen really any issues as from his UI still at full health, so that's going pretty good. Iced quick intentional death there, and we'll be going down to Grenade, grabbing that, heading on over to Horse. So still maintaining his lead, like not really giving Evooki much of an opportunity to catch up. And there's certainly less and less run left. So if Evooki wants to take this win, he'll have to kind of hope for a mistake from Iced. Looks like he did take 3 damage at some point, so this is a little spooky here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a safety save before the mini boss. He's at 5 energy, so should be able to spare some for that. Or might just throw a whole bunch of charge flames, but no save. Alright, he's not afraid. Kills the mini boss. No problem. And Ice still rocking that minute better than race time. Coming into Grenade now, as Evooki finishes up Misty, and we'll be heading to that tree as well, as Ice moves over to Horu.
Now, from what I remember hearing from the runners before the race, I'm not sure if Ice is going to go for any grenade jumps, even the one in the final escape, because he's not been feeling super confident on those recently.
Yeah, not a bad call, particularly if he knows the state of the race here. You know, he has more than enough of a lead to not grenade jump, and even if he gets the grenade jump, it only saves 35 seconds in the final escape. So you don't want to risk getting the soft lock and potentially losing minutes if you have more than a 35-second lead when you get there.
I'm not certain if Ice is going to know that, because he's not going... Well, there we go! There's my answer!
Okay, well, he's going to grenade jump, because he's going for this one, but doesn't manage to get it, just gives it one try, and then says, okay, I'm just going, yeah, float up. So that does kind of hint that he might do the final grenade jump, but that one could have just been some swag, and he could still be, you know, afraid, and with good reason, of soft locking the final escape, so we'll have to see what happens.
Soft locks are just, well, they suck, and he's going for the next one. Alright, just gonna take the one try and not go again for that.
Yeah, not a bad call. Uh-oh.
Oh no!
I think Evooki might have saved too early, or I can't see what his ability points are like on that replay, but we're watching this cutscene, and this cutscene is super long. He leveled up early. Oh my gosh. Oh no. There's nothing to do but to watch this at this point.
Oh, well, let's give her energy to Ice for the warp.
Yeah. This trick's pretty annoying. You have to enter the door on the first frame game loads, so just gotta keep reattempting until you get it pretty much. And Ice manages to get in there. So he's onto the final escape. Evooki has gotten through this cutscene. Bit of a painful one. We'll be grabbing the grenade tree. really difficult to make up this time deficit at this point, but if, as we were talking about, the soft lock does exist. And if Iced does stubbornly go for the grenade jump multiple times, which I'm really not expecting he would. But if he does, that can leave a window for Evooki to make up some ground.
Iced heading through the final escape. Can't take any damage going through here, otherwise he will not be able to do the swimming section. Oh, that was really low.
That was pretty scary. Yeah, a touch of that fire was really bad, but...
Damage, 3 damage, 4 damage, while he's out. Oh
yeah.
no! Oh, he didn't spawn the bird! That looked so like he was gonna spawn Kuro.
Yeah.
He's going for it.
Trying to get this final grenade jump here. Just being a little too early on the jump. You have to grenade then jump the frame after, so it's easy to press 1 frame too early or 1 frame too late on the jump. Going for a couple setups on this. Definitely still saves time, even with all of these failed jumps. If you get it at pretty much like within, I don't know, like 40 tries, you'll probably save time.
He's through.
Gets it. So that's gonna sub 40. It's like a roughly a 39-40 to the end of the game. Nice. Meanwhile, getting treated as more Xbox flows on Evooki's side of things. Just in midair, like, no, you can't progress until we process this area.
Well, Ice is definitely getting a new best race time.
Yeah, so great job from him. And as well, Evooki, you know, despite not winning this race, has definitely put on a much better show here. I think this is more of what I kind of expected from Evooki during the bracket, like just kind of low 40-ish type action, which he's certainly capable of when not dealing with horrendous tech issues, so probably feel good about getting this time once he manages to finish up his run.
Oh, tech issues.
Our favorite.
Oh, let's hope Evooki can get door warp.
Yeah. Reattempting door warp is a lot more painful on Xbox, and Evooki gets in
it
there.
First try. That load time is painful.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot harder to get to because it's not as consistent as like the constant 3-second loads. Because on PC, when you load a file, it's forced minimum 3 seconds, and if it can load it in less than that, it will take 3 seconds to load. If it loads more than that, then well, it'll be whatever it is. But if Xbox loads, it's like who knows? The file will load eventually. You better be ready on that beta. But Evooki nails it, and be on to the final escape now himself.
It's accidentally dunked in lava, but okay, he's through that section. And we're gonna have to wait for the lava pillar to go down. Gets through, bashes the shots off the elemental, and now he's leaving down towards the summon section. 1 health, 2 health, 3 health, 4 health, and he gets out with 1 health remaining.
Nearly brushes into that falling meteor there, but manages to stay alive, and we'll be going for the grenade jump now. Has a bunch of energy, so can do quite a few attempts at this, even if they are wasting energy on the throws that he gets sometimes. And nails it.
No!
Oh god, does not nail it, gets the soft lock. Had the inputs, but unfortunately,
No.
he's gonna have to quickly reload there and restart from the beginning of the final escape.
On the load times.
Yeah. At least it doesn't take you back to door warp. That's the one good thing. So I know we've been blaming the Xbox version of the game for various things throughout the run, but I think as well the final grenade jump is is subject to a little bit of will the last part of the cutscene load in time. I'm just gonna stop and have to watch it anyways. Or, you know, maybe bonk in a weird way, at least get slowed down, I don't know. But Evooki is carrying through this final escape once again. See if he opts for the grenade jump this time in light of that last soft lock, or just decides to finish it. I wouldn't be surprised if he gives it another go though. He did get that jump pretty quickly, and you definitely can get it. It's just, oh shoot, his bash off the second fish hit the roof. It was a little angle too far left, and
the crash bashes strike yet again.
Yeah.
Lanterns?
They're swinging all over the place. Alright, so Evooki coming up to these lanterns once again. Dashing through, dashing over, and we stomp down the skirt above this fire through the final escape. And then onto the water part once again. I think we'll get through it, no problem this time. That was just kind of a Darren Bashes kind of thing. Getting in, taking 1 damage a second. Through with only 4 damage taken, so pretty optimal swim there from Evooki. And his coming up.
Even if he takes an unfortunate rock accident, he won't die.
Yeah, that's always nice. Nobody likes dying to those rocks. And we'll be going for this grenade jump once again. Stepping up into a bit of a better position. That first one was a little bit low, and trying to get the inputs now. Setting it up, aiming, and hopefully he gets it and doesn't soft lock.
That looks too low.
Yeah, oh. I am thinking a few of these are on the low side. This one should be okay.
Yeah,
and it is.
There we go, we're through. I'm glad that one didn't go through the one before. That looked way too low.
Yeah, sometimes you can get it from spots outside of the window that most people use. So some people have, you know, kind of weird setups where they go like way low on it. It still works, but definitely it's scary. It's definitely scary.
Grenade jumps are weird.
That's for sure. So, Evooki shattering his best race time, not a PB, but definitely a tournament best for him.
And it looks like the tournament best for Evooki is now going to be a 45-20.
Yeah, so that's pretty solid. Managing to improve and, you know, show that you definitely, Evooki can tear up the late game as long as the game is playable.
And with what he has to work with, he did a fantastic job.
Yeah. Alright, so, well, we still have a moment. I'm just gonna pull Iced in here and get some thoughts from our winner here. So, hey Iced, just wanted to say GG, nice run.
Alright, thank you. You can hear me?
Yes,
yeah.
we can hear you.
Alright.
Always nice to have the tech stuff working. So you grabbed a 39:39 in that race, so sub 40 race time. Are you pretty happy with that one, or were you looking for, you know, something faster?
I'm pretty happy with it. For now at least. Just my consistency hasn't been that great. It's been literally all over the place. I've been plus a minute, then minus a minute in my practice runs, just constantly during the thing. But still, this is very good for what I thought I was going to do.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And congrats on winning, of course. And you're moving on to face Soup in the next round. How are you feeling about that matchup, or have you thought about it at all?
Well, I haven't considered really going on any farther than I already have in this tournament, considering a lot of other people I'm going to be going against are much faster than me. So doing what I've done so far is good enough for me. I've wanted the under 40 for a while now, and that's what I've gotten. So
Nice. Well, I'll be looking forward to your future matches. I'll be cheering madly from the sideline, and hopefully you can put on some good performances once again. Now, we're also joined by Evooki now. I just want to say GG, dude. And, man, when you're not dealing with tech issues, the late game is a lot easier to play, hey?
Yeah, well, except that one cutscene that I apparently didn't skip.
Oh, yeah. Well,
no.
You gave the people what they wanted. They wanted the lore.
To show it off. I mean, sure, here, even with text, because I'm such a good guy. And not because I'm playing on Xbox at all.
Nah, couldn't possibly.
Nah, that's not the case. would have turned on text on the computer too, right? Well, that could have been better though.
Well, considering your past race times, it also could have been considerably worse, and you did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I could have done much worse. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I also wanted to say nice Grotto cycle. It's always fun to watch.
I literally just walked in. that was my Xbox parade. I can tell you that. Xbox
right.
just walking into the Grotto cycle. That's exactly what I like.
Yeah, it's a small consolation for all of the load times that you get elsewhere.
Oh yeah. That's true. I like the one when you meteor dash from after Sorrow Pass towards Misty, and it just stops in the middle of the air because you're going too fast. That one is really bad.
Yep. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. GG to both of you, and we will be heading off of Ori for now. On Speed Gaming 1 right after this, we'll have some SMB3 randomizers, so stick around if you want to check out that. And if you want to see some more Ori, we'll be back in an hour on SG2, so check that out. It'll be Pixel versus Skyfleet, and that's going to be pretty cool at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So I've been Sigma. It's been a pleasure commentating with you, Poogle.
Always a pleasure.
See you guys next time.
Damage as they head through. So, ooh, nice job. And wow, Yoko. Oh,
no.
my
Oh, no, Yoko. Oh, my goodness. Please be careful.
He hasn't taken any really bad deaths as result, but
Oh, no.
Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Yeah, true shade. So we're going to see what D2 decides to do. Nice safety save there. And wow, the value from the safety save.
The trick itself requires precisely positioning a frog and managing your XP, but because that can happen, because that froggy has a chair and it can stomp it right on your tiny little head.
Oh god, Milton, get out of there!
Holy crap, the recovery from that.
It's deceptive. Ooh, deceptively difficult. Rufus.
Holy
so close.
crap, Rufus.
Oh.
Oh god.
Fix it.
And what is happening now?
I don't know.
Oh, Monkey's shot going through.
Oh, jeez, missed the double bash though. He's gonna go back up. Monkey's shots are phasing through. I hope he does not get that on the upper one. Jesus, broken his swamp.
Oh, Monkey getting hit by the shot.
Subtle that Terra did. Oh, missing that, but he's got the backup. That's okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh. Okay, try again. Just this time you can get to the point.
What you've seen from runners like Lucidus, Uncle Ronnie, and Eviona so far in the tournament, and oh wow,
Damn.
I do not know how he survived.
Both runners getting that fifth.
Oh, Randomson had a really... Wow, what a nice backup, though. Randomson had trouble with the first spider shot, but now it's basically tied.
Go stomp the rocks. And oh,
Fluffy, what
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh,
You really just keep
goodness.
moving and skip that cutscene?
Oh God! Hori's in the air! Hello!
Oh no. Oh, Frankie. Frankie, please go away.
Oh,
that is so
no.
painful.
Oh, this is a party.
Luckily, he does have a sickness.
Yeah, mini boss is not quite going according to plan. Melvin's gonna go with the stomp spam. Keep that frog away. Get out of here. Don't hit me with your chair. He says he gets through it okay, and we'll be just finishing up Misty.
The section is really difficult with the 5 health. Alright, he gets the bash off of the fish. So yeah, he gets through, but upcoming here is
He's on Kuro!
Oh, he died! Death! Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well.
What?
This is literally synced in the final escape, guys. Unbelievable.
They both stopped the thing together. Okay.
Each one of those grenades costs 1. He's got 1 left. That's enough for 2 grenade jump attempts. If he keeps missing in that particular way, he's got 1 chance left.
1 more.
And he gets it! The
First
clutch.
try, and well, not first try, but you know what? First try.
We'll call it first try.